Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you can see me, I hope you can hear me, and I hope you can feel my Monday morning vibe. It's Monday morning, and you know what? It's my favourite day of the week. It's an exciting start to every week, I think, and I especially love bringing you these Monday morning motivations. Monday morning motivations are made with you in mind, especially for your Monday, your morning, even your week. And I guess as this is the first one of October, your month. So thank you so much for joining me. My name's 𝗙𝗶𝗱. I'm known as the Queen of Being Seen because you being visible, you being heard, you being seen is why I spring out of bed every morning, including at 6 o'clock on a Monday morning to be ready here for 7 o'clock-ish. So thank you so much for watching. And the first thing that I'm going to ask you to do, which seems weird because, you know, if you're watching this for the first time, I haven't actually said anything yet. And the first thing that I would love you to do is to share this on your timeline. And here's why. Monday isn't the best day for many people. Some people, they don't look forward to Monday. They spend a lot of Sunday night dreading what's coming next, dreading who might be phoning, what might be dropping through the mail, what might be waiting for them at work, what might be waiting for them in their own office, what might be confronting them from their friends, their family, their health, their wealth, or anything else like that. So my hope with these Monday motivations are that you get to see this, get to watch this before everything goes crazy in your week. And this week in particular, I am going to be sharing a little known fact about riding a motorcycle or motorbike that actually keeps you on track, keeps you on your goals. So, if you're a motorbike rider, the minute I start talking about this, you'll know about this particular thing. But if you're not, then my hope is you'll find it insightful. It'll help with any struggle towards, getting to your goals or getting things finished, or even with procrastination if that's part of your thing. So I'm going to take a sip of water because I've got a really gravelly throat. I've had a bit of a bad throat for a few days now. I'm actually doing this from a different location this week. So if you are watching this, as are many of my regulars, if you're watching this and you have got a comment, a question or anything else like that, then please feel free to type it in the chat box below. So hopefully I'll be able to see all of your messages and things like that. I'm just checking that all is well on here. And there's really no way I can see. I know that Facebook takes a little bit of time to notify people, and that's all okay too. So what am I talking about today? Why does this matter? How do you implement it? And how does it benefit you, really, I guess, are the questions that normally go around my head, certainly, when I'm watching or listening to anything. Hey, everything's working, great. 𝗙𝗶𝗱 is on, and she says, good morning, all. I can see people jumping on, I can see numbers changing, but I'm going to get into this and keep it short, sharp, and honour your time this morning. So, here's the number one lesson I learned when I learned to ride a motorbike in 2003. Well, I learned in 2003 and thankfully passed my motorbike test in 2003. And it's so weird because this is the subject of today's Monday motivation. And yesterday, I had a go on not a Segway, but a Swegway. If you're not sure what that is, then any search engine will tell you. But in a quick kind of like roundup, and I hope I don't do it an injustice, it's one of those things, it's like a scooter without a handle. It's kind of electronic. You stand on it, it's got two wheels, or if you've got a really trendy one, it's got one wheel in the middle. You stand on it and you just like travel to different places. So I was encouraged by a younger member of my family to have a go on one, let's just say that. And as I got on it, rather than doing the smooth gliding motion that they was able to do, they were able to speed up, slow down in a very confined space. Rather than doing all of that, mine kind of went a bit wobbly, let's just say. It was stop, start. And I laughed as I jumped off it because I didn't want to like trash the place I was in. As I jumped off it, I laughed and I said to myself, and out loud, I said, yeah, that just goes to show that it's reflected exactly how I was feeling about jumping on it. You know, I was offered to go on it, and at first I was like, nah. Then I was, yeah, I'm just going to have a go, you know. My first thoughts as I jumped on it was, oh my gosh, there's nothing to hold on to. How does it go forward? Like, what if I fall backward? How does it all work? My head was doing this, and within seconds, so was a Segway. You know, backwards and forwards. And as I kind of laughed at myself and had a lot of laughter pointed in my direction as well, I was explaining that many, many years ago, I remember, number one, going for my motorbike license, and number two, the bike that had been bought for me. You know, I was with my ex-husband then. The bike that had been bought for me in readiness for me passing my test. So you've got to think about this. I have grown up in a family who don't do motorbikes. I just don't. Never had a motorbike. When I went on holiday, I never got on a moped like everybody else did. You're cracking up already, I can see, Trish. Never went on a moped on holiday. Never really been on two wheels other than a push bike. So when I met my ex, who was like fanatical about motorbikes, I was like, yeah, why not? Why not learn? And I remember the first bike I actually owned was I'm going to get a bit bikey for a second, was a Yamaha, a little 125. It was a nice burgundy colour, quite fitting for me. I thought it suited me. I'm not going to say it was a lady or a men's bike because I'll have people saying, oh, what are you talking about? But it suited me, and I would get on my bike with my pinstripe suit on, rucksack and my handbag and my heels in my rucksack, and I would drive the 25 minutes from my house to the office where I worked in financial services at the time, get into the office, take my motorbike helmet off, change my biker boots with my strappy sandals, get rid of my big biker jacket. So I felt confident that I'd practiced until the ex went and bought me, in readiness for me passing not just the 125 but the full bike licence. It was at the time called Direct Access. Went and bought me a BMW R100 motorbike. Now, for those of you that don't know much about motorbikes, never fear. A BMW R100 is exactly the same size as the British police bikes. Huge, big police bikes. You know, the ones with the big panniers on the side and stuff like that. It's exactly the same bike. So it's a BMW R100, which, from what I gather in biking terms, means that it's got 1,000 something. It's powerful. It's very good for touring. It's the sort of bike that if you wanted to travel around Europe or, go on a really long ride, it's ideal for that. So this bike was bought for me. I saw the size of it and I thought, I've never ridden a motorbike before. Like, how is this going to happen? And one of the things that I'd learned on the 125 was to do a figure of 8 on a bike. Not a donut, just to be clear, but a figure of 8. Ride in a figure of 8. So when I first had a go on this bike off a private road, it was actually in like I want to say a warehouse, but that's too big. It was in like a garage, basically. I had a very small space, probably not much bigger than the space that I'm sitting in today. And I had to do this figure of 8 on a bike. And I'm going to get to this number one skill as well in a second. So I remember getting on this bike and I was actually able to do the figure of 8 in a very, very confined space. I was relieved, they were relieved, we were all relieved, because it meant that, I wasn't going to panic or anything else like that when I went to do the bigger bike direct access, course and then go on to do my test. Now, if you've never ridden a motorbike before, there's something very, very different from a motorbike than there is from a push bike, and it is this. When you need to turn somewhere, left or right, on a push bike, you can kind of have a look, look around at the traffic, look at where you're thinking of going to, and then turn your handlebars and go on, pedal on your bike. When you're on a motorbike, it's very different. The dynamics are very, very different. When you're on a motorbike, you have to look in the direction that you're going to. So if you want to turn this way, and I'm going to point because I know that this is in mirror. So if you want to turn this way on a motorbike, yes, you're on a road, you look and you check the road's clear, but then you look in the direction you want to go, turn your handlebars and you go in that direction, because if you don't, you travel to wherever you're looking. The very first time I came across this phenomena, I was in a playground with like 15 other people learning to ride their little 125 bikes with an instructor. And the instructor was stood against a wall and they were saying, come towards me and then I want you to turn that way. So I was looking at the instructor thinking, I don't want to hit the instructor or rev into them or anything. And the instructor said, look that way, and then barked, look that way. And I was thinking, all right, keep your hair on. And I remember looking the way I wanted to go, but like I would have done on a push bike, looking back at the instructor. And to my horror, I start going towards the instructor and I panicked and kind of, pulled on the brakes and stalled the bike. And then he said, I was telling you, go look that way. And I didn't get it. I just thought, to be honest, he was a grumpy old man. Sorry, but he was quite a white-haired man. And he was shouting, and I was a bit upset. I'm not going to lie. And when I finished the lesson and I was talking later on, I said, like, he was shouting, look that way, look that way. So then I went out for an extra lesson in a car park. The person that took me out explained, when you're on a motorbike, wherever you want to go to, whichever direction you want to go in, you need to look in the direction and the bike will follow. You will follow and the bike will follow. If you want to go over there and you're looking this way, your bike will literally go the way you're looking. So as I went round and did more figure of eights, and this is why this is significant, if you want to do a figure of eight, you need to look at where you're going to so that the bike can be very controlled in a very tight twist. Teresa's saying that she did her CBT, found it pretty daunting riding a motorbike. I have to say the same thing. I wasn't in a bike world at all. So for me, it felt like a massive leap, a massive jump, what some might even describe as a quantum leap. It felt like a biggie for me. But the one thing that reminded me of is, in a way, how we do goals and how we do targets or how you do intentions could possibly be how we do motorbike life. It's such the perfect metaphor for attaining the goal. People talk about procrastination, but to me, let's simplify this. Let's not give ourselves a label that stops us. Let's give ourselves a way in which we can. When we're procrastinating, what we're doing metaphorically on our bike is we want to go over there, and instead of, that kind of deadpan, I'm going over there, and I've done a fire walk and a glass walk, and I've got a picture of me doing a glass walk, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm not even looking at the glass. I'm looking dead ahead with this expression on my face that I really haven't seen before. So when we're procrastinating, all we're doing is, rather than looking at where we want to go to, we're literally looking around. Oh, I'm going to go over there, but what's over there? What's here? What's this thing here? And that's literally what we're doing. Quite literally what we're doing. So if we have a goal, an intention, a desire, somewhere that we want to go towards, my advice to you is, by all means, share this video and let people know that all you have to do is keep your eye on the direction of which you're going, exactly the same as you do on a motorbike. Because when you do that, it gives you the ability to be able to just keep going and to get there. get to the destination, not be distracted by shiny objects, not be distracted by what someone else is doing, other words known as comparisonitis, not to be concerned about why they're doing something or getting a specific result. And it helps you just to keep your eyes forward, keep your eyes going to your destination. Now, some of you may be watching this. I know that many of you that watch these are coaches, and you might be thinking, well, why on earth would I share this? I'm a coach, I can relay this to my client. And here's what I want you to understand about, especially about this body of work, the Monday Motivation, which has been going in some shape or form since 2008, so it's like 11 years old, okay? The important thing about the sharing isn't for the kudos or the likes. This is my version of looking straight ahead. This is my version of whoever or whatever is at the sides looking in or looking on. That's not what's important to me. What's important to me is that by sharing this particular video, who people might not have got access to, your friends might not even know who the hell I am. But by sharing this video, this starts to put them in, well, not put them, but get them in a place where they can start to take these nuggets and apply them into their own life. Now, if, for example, you're a coach or you're a trainer, you're a consultant, and there is that, but I do this stuff as well, that is almost the equivalent of looking to the side, looking over there, keeping your eye on the prize. I personally feel the world is big enough to host a gazillion coaches. The world is big enough to have, millions of consultants. The world's big enough to have lots of people that help. And the people that are gravitating and attracted to working with you will still be attracted to working with you. The people that gravitate towards you will still gravitate to working with you. It's a bit like saying, oh, well, I'm not going to share this inspirational Oprah or Tony Robbins in case the person goes and sees them instead of me. It really doesn't work that way. And I say that because I know that every week I get hundreds of people that watch these back, over the week, and sometimes a lot later. I still get notifications, and somebody's put a comment from one that was done like 18 months ago. So I know that these are useful. I know that people watch. Yes, I sometimes in these will say, if you want to work with, somebody to help you to get unstuck, then send me a message. But you know what? I myself have done this with other people that coach, that train, that consult, that give, really great inspiration, authors and people like that. It's like the business boomerang. I don't have any fear that, oh, well, if I share this person's video, then they might go and gravitate towards them. The world doesn't really, I don't believe, work like that, even though we think that the competition stuff. This is one way in which I see so many of the people that I'm working with who are professionals in that area, where they almost take themselves out of the game. They're not looking at the direction they're going, and Teresa says that she loves this metaphor, thank you. They're not looking at the direction they're going. They're getting pulled off by all sorts of things. And we might joke in the entrepreneurial community that it's bright, shiny objects. It's not just the bright, shiny objects that pull us off our path. It's the comparisonitis. It's the thinking that you're less than. It's the thinking that you're not enough. It's the thinking that, if this happens, if I do this thing, then this thing. It's like cause and effect. If I do this thing, then this thing will happen. And all of that is something that we create in our mind. So the thing that I really want you to grasp on today is, like, what is the thing that you're looking directly ahead at? Like, get clear on what that is. Because if I got on my motorbike and said, I'm going to go somewhere, I don't know, let's just see, there comes a point, even in that journey, where I would need to pick one specific destination, even if it's like a T road where it's, do I turn left or right? Even if it's at a crossroads where I say, actually, I'm going to go straight over. In that moment, I'll need to pick somewhere, and I'll need to look in the direction that I'm going. My question to you today is, morning Sam, are you looking in the direction that you're going, or are you still getting pulled off your motorbike track by looking left, right, up, down and everywhere else? It's so easily done. So Monday is my coaching days. I'll be hosting a few coaching calls and then going back to London a bit later on this evening. Thank you so much for watching this, and thank you for those of you who do share these. I want to shout out Alan, who every single week shares this to his timeline, and I know that people watch it because of that, and my hope is that people will really get benefit to navigate this thing we call life, because we weren't born with a training manual. So thank you so much, and thank you for watching so early in the morning. Don't keep this a secret, don't keep me a secret. Please do share this with others. And I look forward to hearing about your insights, your light bulb moments. You know, Sam's already saying progressive, not regressive. I'm looking forward to your insights. And I always ask this question, but what did you get from this? If you don't want to type it publicly down below this box here, then by all means go over and let me know in the Visibility Vibes Tribe Facebook group. You'll be met by the most juiciest, loveliest people on the planet. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a gorgeous, gorgeous day, and I look forward to seeing what you're going to focus on, or the thing that you're going to stop looking left and right. What's your metaphorical tree or shiny object over here? Thank you so much. Bye for now.